All right, so this is for 2A pre-calc. We did vertical translations. That is when the graph shifts up or down. And we have these two tables that we created for vertical shift. Now we're going to talk about horizontal shift or horizontal translations. Okay, this is controlled by the letter C in the equation. Y equals A sine B times X minus C plus D. So our horizontal translation is all about C. And it's just like any other function with A, H, and K, but now it's A, C, and D. We have X minus the C value. So horizontal translations are also called, with trig functions, they're called phase shift. Phase shift, because we know that sine and cosine curves are really the same thing, but out of shift. So we can shift a function by the letter C. So now with the X minus C, if C looks positive, meaning that the value is X plus C, what's really happening? It's really X minus a negative C. So it shifts left C units. And conversely, if C looks negative, and so it has in the parentheses X minus C, what's really happening? Well, C itself is really positive. So what are we shifting? We are shifting right C units. Okay? Now, one other thing to note is always factor out the B value first. So you can clearly see the horizontal shift. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let's look at this equation right here. I need to factor out the B value from this. This has a horizontal shift, but I can't say that the shift is pi because it's not. Watch. I'm going to factor out a B. So I'm factoring out B. All right, B is 1/2 here. I got to factor it out though. And how do I factor something out? I divide, right? So I have y equals -8 cosine. I take out the 1/2. So 1/2 divided by 1/2 is just leaves me with x. And what is pi divided by 1/2? Well, that equals 2 pi, right? So here I have x plus, I took out a 1/2, so I have plus 2 pi. So my shift is, I'm going to go left because it's positive 2 pi. So what does that mean for me? Well, it means it affects my table. The whole graph normally starts at 0. So it starts at 0 and it's a positive cosine. So it starts at 0. But this graph is shifted left. Okay, so we're going to start at -2 pi. Okay, because we shifted the graph over to the left. Now let's find our period and our interval. Period is 2 pi over b. Now b is 1/2. The period is 4 pi. So the period, but I've shifted. So I'm going to add 4 pi. What is negative 2 pi plus 4 pi? Well, that period, so we're going to go from negative 2 pi to 2 pi, because that's my period. And I'm shifted. So what is my interval? Excuse me. My interval is the period over 4. So the interval is pi. So I'm just going to add positive pi to negative 2 pi and get negative pi. Add positive pi, get 0. Add positive pi, get pi. Those are now my x values. Remember, the other way you could have done it is once you have the starting value and the ending value, you could just say, what's the halfway point between these two? Well, 0. What's the halfway point between these two? Negative pi. You get the idea. Okay. Now, I have no vertical shift because D equals 0. All right, so I don't have to worry about the vertical shift like we did up here. Okay. Now, sometimes you're going to get problems where you have both, but right now you're doing the horizontal shift. So I have a negative cosine. So I start at the minimum, and I go to the intercept, and then to the max, then to the intercept, and to the minimum. I know that a negative cosine curve looks like that, okay? So minimum value is going to be, what is my amplitude? My amplitude is positive 8. The minimum value goes in the opposite direction, so it's negative 8, and then 0, and then 8, 0, negative 8. Okay? So let's do this one more time. I have y equals 6 times the sine of, the b has to be factored out. So I take out the b, and I have left x minus, what is 3/2 divided by, what did I take out? 2. Well, I take the numerator and I multiply. This is really 2 over 1. So I multiply by the flip of the denominator, which gives me 3/4. X minus 3/4. So that is my shift. I am going to shift, and what am I going to do? I am going to shift right, because it appears negative, 3/4 of 1. Okay, so we know that our amplitude is 6. We know that our period is 2 pi over 2, which equals pi. And we have an interval then. If the period is pi, then our interval is pi over 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, normally I start at 0, but I'm shifting right 3/4. So 0 plus 3/4 is 3/4. Now, how do I get to the next x value? Well, I add the interval. Now I've got a combination of 3/4, a number, and a pi value. So I'm just going to add them together, remembering that pi is a number. So I say 3 divided by 4 plus, you can see that, plus parentheses, second pi divided by 4. I'm adding those two values together, and what do I get? 1.54. 1.5. And then I'm going to add to 1.5 plus second pi divided by 4. And what do I get for the second value? 2.32. 2.3. Let's add the interval again. Plus second pi divided by 4. And I get 3.1. And I'm going to add one more time. Plus second, plus parentheses, clear that, delete that, plus parentheses, second pi divided by 4. And I get a final value of 3.9, which is almost 4. Okay, so 3.9. So those are my intervals. I have no vertical shift, so my pattern is a positive sign, intercept max, intercept min, intercept. So I have an amplitude of 6. So at the first point, at the first x point, I am at the intercept, 0. And then I go to the max, then 0, then negative 6, then 0. This, you can verify this on your calculator by plugging in the original function, okay? But this is what we have to do to get it by hand. So if you need to, go ahead and rewind and make sure you, if that went a little fast. Okay, the next class is coming in. All right, I will see you next class.